Welcome to the Private Practice Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brooklyn Storm, here to help you unlock the mind, business, and spirit of your private practice success. So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to grow, this is the place for you if you really want to create a thriving private practice. Before we dive in, I want to share something that can really make a difference in your business. Imagine having an expert in your pocket, someone available on demand whenever you need guidance. Well, that's exactly what my new program, Practice Momentum, offers. With over 30 years of experience at your fingertips, you can now get the support you need whenever you need it. Curious? Head over to brooklynstorm.com to learn more. And now let's get into today. Welcome to another episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast. Today, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but don't panic. It's going to be very practical. So if you're driving, totally fine. You can just re-listen to it later on. And you might even want to go to the show notes in Apple, like in iTunes, because I'm pretty sure they do transcripts now, and you'll be able to just go and have a quick look at everything there. We're going to talk about all things websites because while I was away, I can't believe it was only last week. It feels like a year ago. But while I was away last week, a bunch of people booked website wellness checks. And by a bunch, it was about 30 odd. So it was like all of a sudden just this random amount of people just quickly booked in. And they're all saying very, very similar things. So, okay, we're going to respond to what's going on and some of the panic. All right. So when we have a website, it's really important as a private practice owner to understand like what the whole point of it is. Now, I know you're thinking, well, the whole point of it is to get publicity and get my name out there and the clients will come. Yes, and no. The website is actually probably one of the most important assets that you have in your business. And you might not have considered it to be an asset, but it absolutely is. And the reason why is because it brings value financially to the business, okay? It also brings goodwill value to the business. So don't just think of it as a website. Understand that this is a very important, very, very valuable asset for your business. Start to look at it through that lens, and then what I'm about to say to you will make more sense, okay? So I have made a list of 5 things. We're going to go through them so that you know exactly what to look at. So you can do like a little self-assessment on your website if you need my help or you don't trust yourself or you don't know what you're actually looking for. I'm happy to do it for you. Just let me know. I have as you just heard, a website wellness check. And yes, I'll put the link in the show notes for those of you who would like that. But I just thought it might be helpful to go over some of the reasons why you might be needing help or how to know if your website isn't working, right? So some people want to know what could be better. They want to know if it's clear enough what they're offering. They keep hearing about niching, but they don't have one. So it's like, is that even an issue? Somebody else is saying, I'm struggling to be found in Google searches. And despite this, I'm struggling to be found in Google searches despite having connected all my socials to it. Somebody else just doesn't like the look of their website. Somebody else has minimal traffic. Somebody else says she wants to get more referrals and bookings. She loves her website. She doesn't know why it's not converting. Somebody else is saying that, she prides herself on the work that she does. She, routinely does organic searches on Google using incognito mode. And despite her spending so much time behind the scenes, her website isn't appearing on page 1 or up to page 9 on Google. And that's even after she's worked extensively on her keywords and implementing them and doing her meta tags and stuff like that. Other people saying just not getting inquiries from my website. I had somebody build my website. It's not working. I paid for somebody to do my copy and my SEO so that I could get inquiries and clients, but I'm not. Can you help? Somebody else, I'm not getting any clients. Maybe it's because of the layout of the website or the wording. I'm not sure. I don't know. Can you help? Somebody else said, is my website even compliant? I have no idea. It's not ranking. It's not getting traffic. I really want to be set up for success with my products and online services. Someone else, my main issue is that I'm not getting appropriate perinatal referrals. Low client numbers equals low income, sad face. Other people, volume of bookings. I get traffic to my website and some track through some of my pages, but I'm not getting inquiries or appointments. And I'm really, really proud of my website. I've spent a lot of time and effort on it. So these are some of the things that people are writing down on the form when they book a website wellness check, right? It's always about either it's not ranking, they need more bookings, they need more inquiries, it's a lack of clients. And so many of them have paid somebody to do the copy, paid somebody to do the SEO, and it's just not working. It's not coming up. I'm just reading more. My website isn't coming up in searches. I don't have traffic or bookings. I'm reliant on EAP clients, which I hate. I have too many holes in the diary. I'm sick to death of being paid less than a third of my worth. Not enough traffic, no conversions, haven't had an inquiry, and it was published in November. I think my website might be too wordy and maybe not specific enough. Lack of traffic, doesn't look good on a mobile device. Somebody else just wrote, when I say on my form, I ask people, so tell me a little bit about what's happening, like what seems to be the problem. Somebody's written everything. Poor conversions. Yeah, people are looking at it, but no one's inquiring. So many people saying the same things. So I'm going to help you because I know just within like 2 seconds of looking at your website before I even start scrolling whether or not it's converting. And the way that I know that is by a couple of things. First off, I need to see that I'm in the right place, right? So if you've just got a very flowery, generic message on there, something along the lines of, I walk beside you through life's transitions and will give you a safe space to, so you can be the best version. No, that's crappy and that's costing you clients and money. Don't do it. There's nothing for you to be afraid of. I think people panic when they hear the word niche, but honestly, like you just heard, like if somebody's got a really flowery thing like that on their website, they're definitely not getting bookings because nobody's typing that into Google, number one, but also nobody's struggling with that. If you think about when you were looking for your therapist, were you typing in that you wanted to, have somebody to walk beside you on your life transition? You weren't, right? You were like, help me get out of this pickle that I'm in and do it fast and do it in my area, hopefully. So yeah, you've got to have a communication on the very top of the homepage that lets your ideal client know, hey ho, you're in the right spot. And they're not going to know that if you're using flowery, generic, cliche language. Be specific. Speak exactly to your person in real words, okay? So we're going to have the niche, got to have a message, right? They're the two big things. And the messaging is really, 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 really important because that's what's going to become the coat hanger for all of the rest of the content throughout the entire website, okay? Super important. You want to make sure that the user experience is like a 27 out of 10. It's got to be a really, 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 really positive user experience. Okay, really important. Now, there are so many websites where I've had to go digging around for information, people hiding or burying their fees in random parts of their website is just annoying. And it's going to stop people from booking in with you compared to practices that have a tab that says fees, Okay, there's no need to hide your fees. There's no need to bury them in weird parts of your website. People, I think, are more likely to book if they know what they're signing up for, and it's going to save you a lot of time. So if you don't have fees on your website, which totally your prerogative, you don't have to do what I'm suggesting, but if you don't have them on your website, people can feel, suspicious. They might wonder if it's dodgy. They might wonder how much it's going to cost, all of this kind of stuff. And they will often just go with somebody else who's been upfront about the fees. Now, if your practice values things like transparency, it does not make sense for you to hide them, right? Or to not mention them and to spring it on a client in the middle of a phone call if you're doing inquiry calls or discovery calls, because what happens then is the client feels caught off guard, and they're probably going to backpedal and say, yeah, actually, I don't think I need this anymore, and they're going to be nice to you and close down the conversation, get off the call. So they've unwittingly opted in for a call with you, thinking they might be able to work with you, only to find out that, maybe they weren't expecting the price and boom, here it is. And it's wasted their time and it's wasted your time. And what does it do for the reputation of your practice? Not much. So it's much better if you be up front, show people what the fees are. And then if you're offering calls, like you don't have to, I'm a big fan of not having them. But if you do want to have them, it just means then that the calls are better quality because the people already know what the fee is, right? Because believe me, they've checked the fee. And you know that this person's fee aware, and you can just have the conversation, right? And it's like you're not selling anything, you're not pitching anything, there's no pushing, coercing, nothing like that. It's just somebody's just wanting to know a few formalities, like can she have an appointment on Tuesday morning, or does it really have to be a Thursday afternoon, right? That's all she's ringing up for. You don't have to do any hard sells, okay? So that's what we mean by user experience. One of the things that really is a huge stumbling block for people that aren't getting conversions on their website is just making it really hard to connect with the practice. So when people visit the website, I've seen websites where people haven't put an email address, like that's hidden. The phone number's hidden. It's like, how do I get in touch with them? And are they even a real business? And then the only way that you can get in touch with the practice owner is through a bloody contact form, which are the bane of my existence. And I really wish that they just didn't exist. They have such a low conversion rate. If you're relying on people filling out that contact form to get clients, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You're missing out on helping people. You're not serving your clients. You're not serving yourself, and you're probably not paying yourself. So get rid of the contact form. If people want to contact you, they'll email you. Don't worry. It's just better if you have an easier way for them to get in touch with you. And that's what I mean by user experience. There are lots of touch points throughout the website that contribute to what makes a good or maybe a suboptimal user experience on the website. So just things to consider. But if somebody's feeling confused on the website, they don't know how to get in touch with you, or they don't know how to do something, or they don't know where to find information, there's an old saying in marketing that says a confused mind doesn't buy. So yeah. What else? The other thing too is compliance. So one of the reasons when we hear about websites not ranking despite people doing SEO and, all the things, one of the reasons, it's only one, there's a few, but one common reason is because it's just not legally compliant. So you have to make sure, and again, I can tell in like 2 seconds whether or not your website's legally compliant. So make sure that it is. If you don't know and your website isn't ranking, then get a website wellness check and let me sort it out for you, because 2 seconds to me is really quick for both of us versus you trying to figure it out and go on a learning curve and still not maybe get the answer that you need in. Let's just get it over and done with. The other thing too is functionality. So functionality just means is everything working the way that it should be on the website? And an example of that, there are lots of things, obviously, when it comes to functionality, but a common one is broken links. So, I do it, this happens to me on my website all the time. And the reason it happens to me is because you don't have to use Thrivecart, but I use Thrivecart. That's where I put all my products and services and things that I'm selling. And anytime I duplicate a product or delete a sales page or change information in the URL or something like that, all of a sudden I've got a broken link on my website and I'm getting penalized for it. And it just didn't occur to me to go and change the link on the website. So that's what I've just been doing this morning, just going and checking my links. And I had probably about 5 broken links, which is not good. But it's happened because just this week I've been updating things. So that's why it's happened. And I'm thankful that I remembered to go and check. But please make sure that you've got links that are working on the website. A really, really, really common thing that happens is people using Wix website builders. When I do their website wellness check, they've got their social share icons like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, stuff like that. And I'll click on it and it opens up the Wix Twitter account or the Wix Instagram account or the Wix Facebook account, when it should actually be opening up the account to your private practice. So little things like that matter a lot when it comes to, people feeling like you're on top of things and that, they want to book with you. Something that's happened more recently is people using ChatGPT or AI, whichever platform you're using, doesn't have to be Chatty, but just taking whatever the output is that he's giving you and publishing it on your website. Now, that's a problem. The reason it's a problem is, there's a couple of reasons. There's 3 reasons actually. Not in any particular order. The first one is Google values original content. If there's 2 private practices and they both do exactly the same thing, they're both working in grief, loss and trauma, and the home pages are the same colors, same branding, same pictures, same everything. If you've got one that has copy on the homepage written by ChatGPT, but the other person has written her own copy and maybe ChatGPT's tidied it up a little bit, but it's still essentially her copy, Google is going to favor hers, and it's not going to favor the one that was written by ChatGPT. So you restrict your own reach when you copy and paste from ChatGPT onto your website. The thing about AI is it is a tool. It's something to do everything for you, and it can't do everything for you because as a therapist, you're all about the connection. And at the end of the day, AI is just a bunch of ones and zeros, and it's never going to have that same energy behind it. It's never going to have that same connection behind it. It's obvious it was written by AI. So that's the first issue, right? You're unknowingly, unwittingly restricting your own reach when you use the output from ChatGPT. The second thing is your clients are also using ChatGPT, right? Yes, they might have grief, loss and trauma, but they're probably also working and, socializing and have apps on their phone and, see stuff on Instagram all the time. And so they've probably got their own chatty accounts, and they've probably also been writing copy or content for all kinds of things that you've got no idea about. And they can spot AI a mile off. So what's happening is the client now feels like they don't know you. They think, well, I could have written this myself. This is just AI. I could have done this myself. So it breaks that connection, and it can make people want to click out. I mean, think about it. If you were looking for a therapist and you saw a therapist had, clearly written something herself versus something that was clearly written by AI, which one are you going to feel more aligned with as a client? Probably the one who wrote it herself, even if she made mistakes, even if she left out an apostrophe, even if she used the wrong spelling of the word there, or the word your. Like, you're going to forgive that because at least you know it's a real person behind it, okay? Which brings me to the third point, which is authenticity. So many private practices speak into the value of authenticity on their website and how important it is and what it means to them, and they speak about it on their social and things like that, yet their website's written by AI. So again, it kind of breaks the connection. Don't rely on AI. I would always say, have a go yourself first. If you're really, 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 really stuck, get help from AI. But in general, I would either write it myself first and then take it to AI and say, can you tidy this up? Can you check it for spelling? Can you check it for grammar? Can you check it for keywords? Like, I would do that, sure. Because even if the output changed quite significantly, at least I know it was mine originally. You could do the opposite, and you could go into Chatty and you could say, I have no idea what I'm writing about. Help me do this thing. It can write it for you, and then you can take what it's given you and from there turn it into your own. Delete the sentences you don't like. Delete the words you don't like. Okay? Get rid of anything that doesn't sound right and swap it out for stuff that sounds more aligned with what you're doing with the business. Okay? And then probably the last thing I would say is, well, there is so much I could say. And if you've ever had a website wellness check, you'll know I can ramble on and on and on and on and on. I think I did one that was like nearly 2 hours last week. So I can keep going, but I won't. The last thing that I want to say is stop blogging. Unless you know what you're doing, don't. The reason why is because it's taking up time that you could be spending on other things that could be shifting the needle, okay? If you know how to blog, go for it. Keep doing it. And if the blog is converting for you, keep doing it. But it's not a requirement that you have one. I would say, unless you know what you're doing, I would just unpublish the blog altogether because it's not adding any value. I think probably as I said, I've done hundreds of these, and I think I've probably only seen 2 what I would call good blogs. All the rest were just people kind of like writing stuff they thought that they should be writing. It was very general. It was very flowery. There was nothing really bloggy about it. And none of them were getting clients from it. So I would just say, put a pin in it. If it's important to you to blog and if you feel like that's something you would like to do, let me know. And I will, if you've got one, I will absolutely be happy to go and have a look at your blog and give you some tips and some pointers, because I'll be able to see again, like just in an instant, whether or not it's converting. If you don't know why it's not, it might be helpful for you. So there's that. Oh my gosh, there's so much. Like, I could just keep going on and on and on, but I won't. So I hope that this was really helpful. Just to recap, don't be afraid to have a niche and a really clear message. That's really important. Make sure that the user experience is, like a 70 million out of 10. It's got to be like a really positive, pleasing user experience. Make sure it's legally compliant in Australia. Make sure that the functionality is on point, exactly where it needs to be. And stop blogging unless it's converting for you. If it's not converting for you, I would just put a pin in it for now and go and rewrite stuff. Just a few other quick tips. I probably wouldn't be saying we, our, stuff like that. If it's just you, it's weird and it breaks the connection and it costs clients because the trust goes. I would also probably not write my about section as a CV because, again, it's just who wants to read it? Like, no one really. And just be careful with making sure that everything on the website is really simple and really, really clear. A simple, clear website gets more inquiries every day than the prettiest or the most luxe looking, the most expensive. I've seen clients, like one of the clients in Momentum, she made her own website on Canva, and within like 2 or 3 days, she got her first inquiry. And then she got another one 2 or 3 days after that. But I know other women who've spent like $5,000 on their website and haven't got a single booking. So it's nothing about like how much money you're spending or anything. You just need to know what to do. So hopefully now you know the 5 things: the niche and the messaging, user experience, compliance, functionality, and stop the blog. You'll be good to go. And make the changes if you feel like you can and you're ready and you know what you're doing. Go for it, make the changes, and you'll start to see results. I'm so sure of that. If you're a little bit stuck with it and you want some extra help, of course, let me know. More than happy to do that. But I'm really excited for you to get the website sorted out because that's the main source of bookings and inquiries for therapists, the website. Even if it's a word of mouth referral, you're going to go and check the therapist's website. If that website doesn't have good stuff on it that's aligning with you and it's flowery, it's full of cliches. Cliches, as I said, you don't need to say safe space, you won't be judged, all that. You don't need to say that. It's redundant, okay? You just typing words for the sake of typing words. I'm sorry, but that's what's happening. You're doing it because you think that's convention and that's what needs to happen. But all that happens is the client has seen that exact same wording on 5 other websites. So it's taking away, it's watering down your message. And we don't want that. We want your message to be remembered. We want your practice to be memorable. We want the website to be memorable, all those kinds of things. So stop using cliches. Don't say walking beside people, don't talk about, on their journeys and life transition. No, don't do that. Use real words. Speaking of, avoid therapy speak, okay? Therapy speak is 2 things, right? This is my 5 cents on therapy speak. I think you retrained your brain to write in a certain way when you were getting qualified. Okay, you had to write in a certain way. It had to kind of sound professional. Maybe it needed to sound academic, all the things, right? So when you were first learning how to write like that, you had to let go of being yourself, right? And it was clunky and it was awkward and you didn't know if the writing was working out or not. But eventually you found your rhythm with it. And now it's like just how you write. I'm saying let go of that. Go back to writing as you. Okay, that's the first one. The second one is stop using jargon that your clients don't understand. Okay, and then the third one I've just forgotten. But if I remember it, I will mention it on the next podcast episode. No, that's going to get me now. What was it? Therapy speak. It was, they are the 3 things. Don't talk, I want to say down to your client, but I know that you don't. It's kind of like, I know you want to present in a way as you've got authority and you've got knowledge and things like that, but sometimes it can feel a little bit maternalistic, or you just want to meet them on their level. And don't say, I'm going to meet you where you're at. Don't do that. You have to show them through the way that you write. We don't want them to feel like you're up there and they're down there. We want them to feel like you're all on the same page. That's the thing about therapy speak. Be where your client is. Avoid using the jargon, and don't use plurals and third person. Just be yourself. Okay. All right. So I hope that this was helpful. As I said, if you're just confused by all of this and you've got no idea what's going on, it would just be so much easier for you if somebody just did it for you and told you, like, okay, look at this, fix that, change that, da-da-da-da-da. I'm here for it. Just let me know. More than happy to help. Otherwise, have a lovely Saturday. I hope that this was useful, and I'll see you in the next episode on Wednesday. Okay, bye. And that's a wrap for this episode of the Private Practice Podcast. So as you reflect on today's insights, imagine creating real success in your private practice without going down rabbit holes or exhausting yourself with business activities that don't move the needle. With Practice Momentum, you have push of a button help available on demand. It's like having an expert in your pocket ready to guide you whenever you need it. Visit brooklynstorm.com to discover how Practice Momentum can transform your approach to building a thriving practice. I'm Dr. Brooklyn Storm, and I'll see you next time as we continue exploring the mind, business, and spirit of private practice success.